Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Single Over Servitude. I'm your humble host with the most, Jeremy Stone. And today we got an article. Where are the good single men? Study shows they're rare. So what can women do about it? Well, let's see. Not a day goes by when I don't hear from women about how difficult it is to find a good single man in the dating pool. Some of these women I've coached privately for months, and I've heard the frustrations consistently. Surely it can't be this hard to find a genuinely good-hearted man who's available for a relationship. Can it? I decided to look into some statistics and see exactly what the dating pool looks like these days for Americans in particular. So, now is it that they can't find a good single man, or is it that they can't find a good single, hot, rich, sexy man who's above 6 feet tall, who makes six figures a year, who has six-pack abs, who has a 6-inch South Pole or more? So you can find plenty of good guys, but maybe they're not the hottest. Maybe they're not the most in shape. See, now you want the top 10%, man. That's what you want. But Gus, who works at the gas station, who is a good guy, who probably pulls in $45,000 a year, he's not good enough for you. He could be a good guy, but he doesn't meet your stupid standards. Now, does he? Obviously, this article is not meant to be 100% accurate and an airtight argument, but these numbers do support asking a question I have been hearing for years. Where are all the good men? Whee! Below is a graph from Pew Research 2019 to 2020 that lays out the percentages of single men and women across ages. Share of U.S. adults who are single varies by demographic groups. Percentage of adults in each group who are single. Excuse me for a second. All adults. So it's saying all adults encompass 31% of the population. Now, is this 18 to 65? So let's see. Percentage of adults in each group who are single. All adults, 31%. Whites, 28%. Blacks, 47%. Hispanic, 27%. Ages 18 to 29, 41%. 30 to 49, 23%. 50 to 64, 28%. 65 plus, 36%. Men and women both at 31%. Among men, ages 18 to 29, 50. Wow, Jesus. You're telling me that adults ages 18 to 29, 51% are single. Wow, that to me, that's surprising. 30 to 49, 27%, 50 to 64, 27%, and 65 plus, 21%. Among women, 18 to 29, 32%, 30 to 49, 19, 50 to 64, 29, 65 plus, 49%. So let's look at the men. 18 to 29. So there's a lot. So that's what? An 18% discrepancy between men and women? Let's see, 30 to 49. Yeah. It's not wait till you get till 50 to 64 that it starts going up for women. Well, I mean, that's interesting. High school or less, 34%. Some college, 32%. Bachelors, 25%. Straight, gay, lesbian, or bisexual, 47%. Note, single adults are those who are not married, living with a partner, or in a committed romantic relationship. White and black adults include those who report being only one race and are not Hispanic. Hispanics are of any race. So does that encompass Asians as well? Middle Eastern? That's interesting. Some college includes those with an associate's degree and those who attended college but did not obtain a degree. Source: Survey of U.S. adults conducted October 16th to 28th of 2019. Nearly half of U.S. adults say dating has gotten harder for most people in the last 10 years. Well, let's see what happened in the last 10 years. Smartphone, dating apps, social media. Oh, I don't doubt at all that it got tremendously harder, because now you have, instead of talking to people in your friend group or coworkers or perhaps someone you just meet like at the gym or library, now you have a buffet of options, all at the swipe of a finger. You can sit on your couch, eat nachos, and swipe people 5 cities away that you never would meet. So when you have an abundance of options, it's almost impossible to pick one, because there's always going to be something higher, something a little better. Always shopping, never settling. The article continues. The first number is percentage of all surveyed adults who are single, equaling 31%. In other words, only about 3 out of 10 people you see walking around in public are single. Interesting. 1/3 of all adults are single. Now let's get into a little dangerous territory. Since I'm publishing this here on Medium, I did a little digging into the demographics of readers. In April 2015, Native Advertising stated that 95% of Medium readers are college graduates. This article is taking my breath away. Let's use this to make an assumption that if you're reading this and single, ding, 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 education is important to you in a potential partner. Well, I don't want to be dealing with a dullard. Skip the education section of the graph. Only 25% of single Americans hold a bachelor's degree or higher, making the pool of eligible partners even smaller. Now start asking yourself how many of these people actually live in the same area as you do. What are your odds of meeting them? I understand this is beginning to sound a bit dismal as we keep going. The numbers are also obvious. That percentage of single men until the ages of 50 plus outnumber single women substantially. Numbers and analytics have never been my strong point, but the statistics seem to be pointing to this. In the overly simplified categorization of men and women who would be willing to date each other, the selection of men is much smaller than the group of women who'd be open to dating them. Oh, I'm shocked. Because all women, not all, but the vast majority of women who are at their peak of beauty, their peak sexual marketplace value, they want that top, 5% man. They want 6'4", banker, artist, self-made businessman who's rolling in dough. Like on this, the sexual marketplace value on a scale of like 1 to 10, the 5 woman wants a guy who is an 8, 9, 10. The 6 woman wants a guy who is a 8, 9, 10. The 7 woman wants a guy who's 8, 9, 10. So if you're like a guy who's an 8, 9, 10, and you just have an abundance of options, like, oh man, I got girls on top of girls. I need to wear some floaties because I'm about to drown in some pussy. It's like, why would I settle down? If I have an abundance of options, I'm not going to settle, because there's always something next weekend. So maybe these ladies should stop shooting for the stars and, hey, just date across the spectrum. A 5 gets a 5, 6 gets a 6, 7 gets a 7. So right off the bat, there's no surprise that there seems to be an array of successful, educated, and frustrated single women wondering where Mr. Right is floating around. That's obvious. That obviously doesn't address all of the other everyday concerns when it comes to dating. Where do you go to meet these people? Gym, library, friends? Is online dating a viable option. Sure, but most likely it's going to just be a quick hookup. What percentage of these eligible bachelors actually want a relationship? Well, if they got girls on top of girls and options on top of options, most likely very nil. They're not going to want an actual relationship. How many of them would you really be compatible with? I have no idea. How many of them live in your area? Slim to none. This addresses the author. James, are you trying to destroy our hopes to finding love? On the contrary, what I'm trying to do is let you know that you're not crazy. Single men really are hard to find. Really are harder to find than single women statistically. This is not an individualized problem, and you're not alone in your challenges. Fine, great. What's the answer? For starters, the most popular way that people who are married and in serious relationships met each other is through friends and family. Yes, indeedy. If you're actively looking to date, communicating this is possible referral sources may be a good place to start. Well, yeah, it's always good to have a good mutual friend. So yeah, at least you can get like a base value of how this person is. As far as what's under your own control, begin taking a serious inventory of your daily habits and routines that you've adopted over the years, and ask yourself if they've conducted if oh I'm sorry yeah if they're conducive to finding the type of person you're willing to date. Where are you spending your free time? Are the types of men or women you're seeking also spending their time there? If not, what changes can you make? Well, if you want a quality person, most likely you're not going to find it at the bar or the club. That's most likely the hookup spot. So you won't find Mr. Right, but you'll find Mr. Right now. Mr. I'll blow your back out and rearrange your insides and fold you more times and like than an origami over the weekend. But don't expect me to be around in the morning. Take a look around your local grocery store or coffee shop. Are you in an area where singles in your demographic are likely to live, work, or play? If not, where else can you start going for your daily necessities that puts you in the path of more fitting people? Ask yourself who you're spending your time around and if they're helping you maintain a positive and hopeful mindset and sorry, and perspective on dating. It is easy to become jaded and feel hopeless, but spending time around others who are stuck in the way of thinking only serves to make it worse and decrease your chances of being able to pull you out of the rut. Reassess, reassess what you really looking for. We've spoken in the past about your wants versus your needs and how they can differ from each other. Your wants are a vehicle for your needs to travel. The question becomes, what are the real underlying reasons for your wants? And when you become clear on that, you can determine new ways to achieve them. I have never, nor will I ever, encourage anyone to lower their standards for the sake of finding a partner. I would simply just say, keep your standards realistic. Now, shocking as it is, I am not Brad Pitt. Take a second to, catch your breath. I know. I am not Fabio. I am not Ryan Gosling. I know. I'm as shocked as you are. But hey, I figure I'm I don't know, 6.5, maybe a 7. Maybe a 7. I could probably pull like a 6 chick, but I'm not shooting for Sofia Vergara. I'm not trying to get a what's her face that plays Harley Quinn. I'm not trying to get the Victoria's Secret model. I keep myself realistic, and that's what you ladies should do. If you're a 5, nothing wrong with that. It means you're average. Most people are average. get a 5 or get, if you're a 5, you can get a 4, 5, and 6. Don't shoot for 10. Just keep your standards realistic. Uh, what I do, however, article continues. What I will do, however, is help open the mind to new and innovative or different approaches to defining what is truly going to make you happy and then determining how to achieve it. The cookie cutter image of Mr. or Mrs. Right you've had in your mind for years actually might come along. Don't be a jerk. Leave you even more confused than ever. But maybe the kind genuine, inquisitive, and compassionate guy or gal that you've met 1,000 times has given you a little smirk may have underlying qualities that suit your needs but are lying below their surface. The truth about love is it can arrive from anywhere at any time. Sure, it might be waiting at your friend's destination wedding. It might be sitting at the coffee shop down the street reading a novel. It could even be sitting right next to you at work. Yeah, be careful with the work thing, especially with the hashtag M2 movement. You don't want to be pulled into the HR department for asking one of your coworkers out. Or it might pop up with the most random place at the most random of times in an unexpected package. Yet, if you're not open to receiving it or are closed off to it looking different than you expected, you may let it pass you by. Expand your horizons. I want to share a simple yet effective exercise I've been working on with clients. You'll set a weekly goal for the amount of new people you want to start conversations with, and then simply start saying hello. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being not socially awkward and being more open to new horizons and stuff like that. Let's say this week you're going to talk to 5 new men or women, whomever you're attracted to. Well, assuming they're going to give you the time of day. Set your intentions each day to spark up a conversation during your daily travels at the grocery store, the gym, the coffee shop, and start finding new opportunities to engage with people you've never met. It could simply be a hello, asking the person behind you in line for coffee, recommendations, or letting someone know that you love their sense of style. The results are multifaceted. You begin flexing the muscles of being comfortable talking to anyone, anywhere. Even if you're a social butterfly or a star salesperson, start up random conversations. Starting up random conversations can be more difficult than you may think. 2, you'll start paying more attention to your surroundings. We are notoriously buried in our phones when we're out and around, or generally closed off to the public interactions. This goal will spark to safely and consciously start opening up your body language and awareness to the environment around you, which opens up more opportunities. Well, you got to gauge your environment first. You don't want to spark up a conversation with someone's got their arms crossed and frowny, or maybe someone's busy, especially guys with girls nowadays. Man, you got to be freaking careful. Girls will bite your head off nowadays. Try to spark up a conversation. Because it's okay to spark up a conversation with a girl, but you don't know how the girl's going to react to you. She might look at you as a creep, but then you might be a hot guy and she'll be like, oh, okay, he's cool. So, I don't know. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so to say. Number 3, you'll spot areas for improvement. I've worked with quite a few people who've reported back to me that they had absolutely no luck even seeing men or women that they were attracted to. As a result, they started going on different routes during these days because no wonder I wasn't meeting anyone. Over 50% of American adults have said that dating is much harder now than it used to be a few years ago. And I'd venture a guess that nearly 100% of the people reading this article would agree with that sentiment. Abso-freaking-lutely. Internet, dating apps, social media, because if you're on social media and you're just inundated with validation, oh, good night, queen. Oh, yes, got your back, girl. And you get all the likes and all the thumbs up and all the compliments saying how beautiful you are and beautiful you are. Your ego is going to inflate. And then you're going to think, well, instead of being worth this person, I'm now worth this person. More likes, more validation. Now I'm worth this person. So this person who is completely fine, completely good, now is beneath you. So yeah, you might get this guy, but this guy's just going to treat you like another little option. Because I remember back in the high school days, you had your friend group. All you got to do is like, hey, you want to go on a date Friday? They're like, yes or no. They said like, no, thank you. That was it. Now with social media, let's say you start texting a girl, you swipe and you match up or whatever it is. You know she's talking to at least 10 other guys. So now I got to compete with 10, at least 10, maybe 20 more guys. It's just not worth it. It is just not worth it. Article continues, that doesn't mean finding a partner is less possible. It just means that we need to find new and more inventive ways to go about it. Don't be discouraged if the pool is shrinking. Instead, see it as an opportunity to develop yourself into an even more skilled swimmer. After all, when Darwin said survival of the fittest, he wasn't talking about the most physically fit. He was talking about those best fit to their environment. Absolutely. But, like once you hit, I would say once you hit about your mid 20s, especially for a guy, you start seeing a lot more. Like when I was in my mid 20s, I would say about chicks around my age were probably about 40% single female parents, and maybe like 60% of them didn't have kids. But once you hit the late 20s, so many chicks nowadays are just like baby rabies. I need to have a kid. I need to get married, done with the hookups, done with the BS. And then after the 30s, it's like 80% of the chicks out here have kids. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. And I don't know about you guys, but I am not paying for another man's seed. No freaking way. For single Americans, the environment is a challenging one, but as always, the most willing to adapt will prevail in the end. I think this is basically the end of it. Yeah, so, girls want a good, solid man, but when you are on social media and get tons and tons and tons of validation, your ego shoots up, what you expected shoots up, and now let's say you're 28, you are now competing with 18 to 28-year-olds who want the exact same thing. So it's going to be quite harder to find a man who's going to be willing to settle down when he's got a plethora of options, more options than he knows what to do with. So ladies, good guys are out there. Good guys are out there. They may not be the tallest. They may not be the hottest. They may not be the physically fit. They might be average dudes, but they could be good guys. So you can have all the standards you want. That he has to make 6 figures a year. He has to have a Lambo. He has to have a house. He has to have that. But listen, there's something to be said about a guy who's going to treat you right at the end of the day. So I don't know. This is Jeremy Stone. This is Single Over Servitude. You guys have a great day.